All right, task 4, May 3rd, 2022. Ooh. I got to go to the doctor's appointment. So I'm going to make this pretty quick. So at the top of your uh, page in your notebook, make sure you put your name, put the date, blah, blah, blah. Okay, copy this. This is part of your song from Guapo. All right, just write it down. I would just draw a line to break that up from the rest of the questions, or from the actual questions. So before you even think about anything, just write the questions down. I'm not going to do all of it, but just write it. Don't even think about it. I know you're going to want to answer it. Just don't. Just don't. All right. Just make sure you just do it. There's only 5. So remember in Spanish, all right, I'm not going to, well, maybe I'm going to have to give you a little bit of the answer. Here's the conjugation soy. If you remember, soy comes from the infinitive form of the verb ser, which means what? It's one version of the verb to be. Okay, this is the more permanent version. Okay, soy is a conjugation. So ser is the basic form, the Cinderella before her glow up. Soy is after the glow up. Soy is associated with the pronoun yo. And it means what? I am. Yo is I am from Leland, etc., etc. And so on. You also have the rest of the conjugations, right? You have you are, he is, she is, etc., etc. What I want to show you is that, and we really get into this in task 5. When you see soy, right, it means 2 things in English. It breaks down into the English pronoun, which is I, and then the conjugation in English, am. Okay? So it's 2 parts. Uno, 1, 2, always. But in Spanish, you don't have to say that. You can just say that. You can say yo soy de Leland, right? Which is what I've been having you guys say since the beginning of the year. I am from Leland. But you can also just say soy de Leland. And you will still be understood. Actually, it's more likely that a native speaker, right, would probably use that. And the reason for that, briefly, is that a verb in Spanish is always going to match its conjugation. And let's do some vosotros. Okay, so I am, you are, he is, y'all, etc., etc. You can't say something like yo eres, because that translates to I are. Sorry, no. I, you are. It doesn't make sense. So that gives you the answers for a lot of these questions. There's only 5 questions, so copy them down and fill in the answers the best of your ability. And just remember that soy breaks down into 2 parts. And the hardest question, I believe, is number 5. Before we get there, just remember, what does the infinitive form of a verb mean? What does it look like? What does it end in? Think about that. Look at the 2 examples I've already given you, A and C. Now, for number 5, it asks you about these 4 verbs that you find in number 4. They are conjugated how many times in the yo pronoun and how many times with the el, ella, usted. So what I would do is make a little table. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Wait, is this right? Yeah. So, how did I? No, this is backwards. My bad. Okay. So you have verb number 1, or let's go A, llamarse. You think you don't know it, but you do. I'll explain that in a second. B is a question mark. We don't know yet. C is a ver, which I will give to you because we barely touched that one. Okay. So write them down like that. There's your little table. And do that. Now we're looking for what? We're looking for the yo, right? Yo. How many times the yo is written? The yo form of the infinitive. These are your infinitives. How many times yo? And how many times the el, ella, usted form is used? Now, that one I will give. Ooh. This is what horses eat, right? Okay, so the answer for 5 for the second half of that is going to be what? How many times in this do we see the conjugated form? Hey, it's not hey, it's I. There it is. Do we see it anywhere else? Nope. So this is that. 1 time. So the LA usted. So here it is, LA usted. And I'm giving you that. So now you just need to know how many times this is being said. You have to figure out the verbs, right? And that's already done. I need this one, and this one, you know. Take a look. Llamarse. The llamarse looks a little bit strange because it doesn't end in an R like all verbs do in Spanish. But it really does. There it is, hidden in the little sandwich. You don't need to know what type of verb this is, but you have to know that right now, this form with the SE at the end is a different verb than this one with the AR in the end. You don't need to know why, but you do know that you do know how to use it. Because how do you say your name? You can say it two ways, right? Mi nombre es ... Victor, let's say that. And what's the other way to say it? Me llamo Victor. There it is. This is the yo form of that. And again, you don't need to know this, but that goes here to refer to yourself. It's called a reflexive verb. And it means it's a verb that is conjugated, and the last part you have to change to, I don't know, it's too complicated. It means that you're doing an action to yourself. So with me llamo, it means I call myself Victor. That's far advanced. So that happens how many times? Count that, and then that's your answer here. Find the other 2 infinitive verbs. They will end in an R, either an AR, an ER, or an IR. And once you find the conjugations for them, just count how many times each one is present in this set of lyrics, and then add things up. Let's say this is that, so that's plus equals this. Okay, this is already here. Okay, that's a lot of arrows and stuff, so give it a try. And if you have any questions, come to me in class or send me an email.